Good afternoon. My name is Joe Kerwin. I'm the mayor of Glenrose. Most of you probably didn't know that. Well, the wonderful event where we can elect a hometown gal to represent us. If you haven't voted, get over there. Take your family, take your friends. I am so honored to be able to speak in front of the governor, and nervous. I'm very proud. But I would like to thank all of the volunteers, Trish, Sexton Mills, all of her employees that came in. The city has actually done a couple of things here for Helen, and she does a great job. They all do. And I'm going to buy a beer and have some pizza after this. Don't run off. When they asked her to speak, they said you can have a short story. Well, Brooke told me that the governor's running a little late, so they wanted me to stretch it out. So I'm going to tell several stories. Now, I'm going to tell a story in February. I got a call from Helen, and she said, Mayor, I just left the filing office in Austin. I'm running for House District 58. And most people don't know this. It was the very first call she made. At least that's my story. May not be exactly right, but yeah. Well, you're not mayor. Anyway, she said, I want you to help me represent Glenrose, support me, and can I have your endorsement? And I'm thinking, endorsement? Me? Fort Worth boy from Glenrose and Helen? What have I got? Well, I'll tell you what I've got. I've got 9 family members that are all eligible voters who live in District 58. Now, if Helen was to win by 9 votes, the first call she's going to get is from me. When I say, my family did that. It's us. But we do know 9 votes is not going to be the margin. It's going to be much larger because of you. We need it. The fellow down the offices will eat has had trouble getting to Glenrose from time to time and helping us out. We made several attempts to work with him and ask for some help. If I have a hometown gal right here from Glenrose, you can't imagine what the advantages may be, right? Yes! So let's get out there, get your family and friends. And I hope to be the first one to call Helen. I'm sure I won't be, but we have a great representative. It will be great for the state of Texas, for our students, for our border, our taxes. Helen Kerwin is the girl for this job. And forget my pronouns. I don't know my pronouns. I just say what I think. So, our hometown gal, we wish you all the luck, and we know you're going to take this race. So thank you for putting your all into this. You've done a great job. Now, one of her girls, Brooke Ross.
Well, how about the mayor of Glenrose, everybody? Let's go! How about my cute mom in the green jacket? How good does she look? Right? Mom, you are one hot smoking grandma, I'll tell you that. Hey, I'm going to ask our whole family to come up here. My sister Helen, an amazing principal here in the Glenrose Public School. My other sister Ann, who changed to match all of us. Thank you, Annie. Ann Blunser, a TCU professor in Fort Worth. Our awesome kiddos, Thomas Blunser, Jake Rollins, Eliza Blunser, Lily Rollins, Anna Rollins. Let's see, we've got 5th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 9th grade. Y'all come on up here too. Help me welcome our part of our family. Listen, it's such a joy to be here. This is our hometown, and I know I haven't met all of you, but I think you all know our story, that we were raised here in Glenrose, Texas. I am a proud graduate of the class of 1990 Glenrose High School. Are there any friends out there? And my sisters, little twinners, are class of 1995. This is our home, and we were raised by a single mom with a flower shop on the downtown square. Never in a million years did we think that one day she would be running for the Texas House of Representatives, and not only running, but will win a seat in the Texas House of Representatives. You know, when we were growing up here, I think that it's a real testament to the American dream, right? It doesn't matter from where you are. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter how big your bank account is. It doesn't matter, what your pedigree is, or if your parents or your grandparents went to a fancy school. All that matters is that we are in a country where anything is possible. And I'm going to share with y'all, I think the governor's running slightly late, so he asked me to stretch. Christian, how much time do we have? 5 minutes, perfect. So 5 minutes, Mom, and then I'm introducing you. I'll watch the time. But listen, here we are in the greatest country in the history of the world. But what I want to share with you is this. In 1989 and 1990, I was a senior here at Glen Rose High School. And we've grown up here. This is our home. You are our people. You are our community. And I'm going to share something with you a little bit embarrassing, but it's important because I want you to know what my mom is fighting for when she goes down to the Texas House. In 1990, if you were to go up to Glen Rose High School and you were to pull the yearbook from 1990, which is 34 years ago, and you are to look up Brooke Leslie, one of the 39 graduates that year from Glen Rose High School, and it says, who are your best friends, and what's your favorite song? I think back then it was a Guns N' Roses song, and what's your favorite? Where are you hoping to go to school, or what's next? But in part of that list, and again, y'all, I've never talked about this, slightly embarrassing. As part of that list, I said, do y'all remember Ann and Helen? That I was going to be President of the United States someday. It's actually in there. It's literally in the yearbook. Do not tell them. If CNN calls any of you, do not tell them. But here's the amazing thing about the American dream, about Glen Rose, about Texas, and about this country, that 30 years later, I did end up not President of the United States, but standing next to Donald Trump in the West Wing of the White House as his policy director for 3 years. So God, sometimes God has a plan for you that you have no idea. All we know is that we're called to be the light in a world of darkness. We're called to be the salt and the light. We're called to fight against evil. We're called to do what is right every single day. We're called to meet our moment. And all those 34 years ago, and that little bitty, girl from a little bitty town, Glen Rose, Texas, who actually had the confidence and the heart and the belief that even she, the daughter of a single mom from a small town in Glen Rose, could one day be the President of the United States. And even though I don't think that's God's plan for me, the fact that one day I did end up in the West Wing, and there may be a few Donald Trump fans in here, I'm guessing, right? I talked to him yesterday. I'm going to see him tomorrow night in New York City. Please know that every minute of every day he's fighting for you. And when we take the White House back in November, when we take the White House back in November, and when we reclaim this country for every man, woman, and child who's raised by a single mom from a small town in Texas, who has the opportunity to dream bigger and higher than anyone ever thought, it's because of this country. It's because of communities like Glen Rose. And it is because of amazing women and men like my awesome mom, who's willing to step up when she is called to meet her moment, and when she is ready to take charge, and when someone hands to her the opportunity to go and fight, and to go fight the left, the evil, the Marxist, the communist, to fight for what she knows is right, which is freedom and liberty in our constitutional government, and fight most of all for these grandchildren that want a country and deserve a country like we all grew up in. That's what she's going to do for House District 58, for the state of Texas, and for the entire country. Please help me welcome my awesome mom, Helen. Can you imagine following that? When she was in high school, and when she was in high school, we did a speech contest in FFA and UIL. I was wanting the back row, with the broom and making sure the flowers were right on stage. Never, ever dreaming I would be she would be introducing me and I'm following her. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of my kids. Half of my grandchildren are here, and I just want to say, most of you know my platform, what I've been running on for 5 months now. I got into this thinking it was 6 weeks. But I have loved it even more, even in my 5th month, meeting the most wonderful people in this district. I just can't even tell you how much I love it. And to know that my girls came through a wonderful public school system. I am all about public schools, private, parochial, charter. I just want the families to get involved. I want to empower them. We have to do something. 50% of our kids in Texas are not under. So that is an important plan to me. The next plank that I ran on, of course, is eliminate property taxes. Because when I was out knocking on doors, believe it or not, that was what I heard almost as much as the border. Seniors are being taxed out of their homes. Young families can't afford to buy their homes. People that are renting are paying higher rent because the taxes have gone up. I really want to take that on, and I think that it is a reality. Maybe not in this session, but in the next session. I think we can make it. So, we have a very special guest. I am honored. And when I was campaigning, my #1 plank, of course, was secure the border, remain in Mexico, catch and deport, finish the wall, all of the things we need to do, but we can only do if we vote conservatives back in the office of the House of Representatives. So the Democrats do not control the House. Which, if you know, our 8 bills were killed because of Democrat control in the last session. So it's really important. Governor Abbott is my champion on that. His Operation Lone Star. I went down to Shelby Park. I talked to the Border Patrol. There was a bill that was ready to be passed to actually establish the Texas Border Protection Unit. Governor Abbott would have had thousands of new military personnel, not only to secure our border, but enable them to do their job. So that was killed, along with the other ones, like China Bank Farmland. There were so many great bills. So we have got to get the conservatives back in. So I'm asking for your vote and your support to do that. And now, Governor Abbott, who single-handedly, with Operation Lone Star, has secured our border. When Biden came in and took down the 2 rolls of razor wire, do you remember what he said? Fine, I'll just put up 3.
Yes.
And he did. And he is actually, and he was even better. 2 weeks ago, he is again taking on the Biden disaster in D.C. in the Title IX. He has taken him on. And Governor Abbott, the best governor in America, we in Texas are going to remain free. And he is going to make sure of that. Governor Abbott?
Give it up for Helen Kerwin. Thank you all so much for being here. Listen, you all know very well, we are just basically 3 voting days, today, tomorrow, and next Tuesday, away from determining the future of your representation in Austin, Texas. And what you need is somebody who's going to fight for you and fight for your values. Know this. This election is actually not about Helen. It's not about me. This election is about you, your families, and your future. And you deserve to have someone who's going to go to Austin, Texas, and fight for Republican values in Austin, Texas, and deliver for this reminder as part of who we've been as Texas. This goes all the way back. Get this, next year, we're going to celebrate the 190th anniversary of the Battle of Gonzales. That's the battle that gave rise to the Come and Take It flag. And ever since that day, Texas has been known for our fighting spirit. And we continue that fighting spirit today as we fight back against Joe Biden's reckless policies that are destroying the United States of America. So Helen mentioned one of them. This is just crazy. Joe Biden issued an order saying that Title IX of the Education Code is now going to be interpreted not just to protect women, but also to protect men who identify as women. Yeah, that's right. Well, don't worry. I issued my own order saying Texas schools will not comply. And that follows on what I did last year when I signed a law saying no men in women's sports in the state of Texas. Listen, the leftists are trying to impose their radical agenda across the board, including into our schools. There are some schools in the state of Texas where the radical left has these resource guides to inform families and students about how students can change their gender. There's another school in the Dallas area that has had a male high school teacher who goes to school dressed as a woman. If you were a parent and a child in one of those schools, would you think you have the right to take your child to some other school? Yes. Of course you do. And that's why I've been fighting for the right of every parent in the state of Texas to be able to choose the school that's best for your child. And it's why I've been fighting to elect Republican representatives who will provide school choice, cut your property taxes, and help me secure your border. That's why I'm fighting for Helen Kerwin to be your state representative. I'll tell you what, something else that Helen and I agree upon. We support our law enforcement officers in the state of Texas, right? One reason for that is because Texas is a law and order state. Have you all seen this chaos across the country where you have these protesters at college wreaking havoc with their college protests? Let me tell you something. We don't tolerate that kind of stuff in the state of Texas. When those paid protesters came to our campuses in the state of Texas and tried to build one of their encampments in the University of Texas, we had the Texas Department of Public Safety there. They showed up, they corralled them, arrested them, and took them where they belong, which is to a jail cell. There's something else we don't tolerate in the state of Texas, and that is Joe Biden's open border policies. Listen, this has been going on so long, it's easy to forget. It was just 4 years ago. We had the lowest illegal border crossings in about 40 years. It's because Donald Trump put into place 4 policies. Remain in Mexico, Title 42, end, catch, and release, and build a border wall. That's all that it took. When Joe Biden took office, he issued executive orders that eliminated all of those policies, and in its place there was nothing to secure the border. And that led to an all-time record high number of illegal immigrants crossing the border. Just under the 3.5 years of Joe Biden, there's been more than 10 million illegal immigrants cross the border. That's more than 4 Houstons coming across the border just under the Biden administration. And it includes a record number of people on the terrorist list, number of murders, rapists, and other criminals coming into our state. Texas is not going to tolerate Joe Biden's open border policy, period. The thing matters even worse when Texas didn't start securing the border ourselves. Joe Biden took action to try to stop Texas from doing its job. And like Helen said, our response was, come and take it. That's when I invoked Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution and declared what's going on the border not only a disaster, but also a disgrace about people coming across the border. And that's when I said Texas has the legal right to defend ourselves. Remember those big orange buoys that I put into the Rio Grande River? And you know, when I put them out there, they were designed by the Border Patrol to be effective at denying illegal entry. Joe Biden wouldn't use them, but I put them into the river. And as soon as I did, Joe Biden filed a lawsuit to put a stop to it. That lawsuit remains in court today. But as we gather at this event today, those buoys remain in the Rio Grande. And then, we put up all this wire. And Helen told you the story. The wire was being very effective at denying illegal entry. Biden ordered that wire to be cut. I ordered the National Guard, you triple the amount of razor wire you put on that border. And they did. And in the history of the United States of America, Texas is the only state to build our own border wall. We didn't reinvent the wheel here. Same border wall that President Trump put up. The difference is that when you look at the miles that we've already put up, and those that are under construction as we gather here today, Texas has put up more border wall than President Trump put up in the state of Texas. And there's more going up. The National Guard has done a superb job. There are thousands of National Guard members on the border. And they are erecting these razor wire barriers with anti-climb barriers behind them to make sure that nobody can get across the border. In fact, there's so many National Guard down there. There's another first for Texas. Texas is the first state to build our own military base on our border to have our guard there perpetually to support the border. And then we had maybe the low point of the entire illegal immigration episode. Is when Joe Biden was allowing about 5,000 people to cross illegally a day, illegal past Texas. And I told the National Guard that 50-acre park there, illegal past Texas, that Joe Biden was using for illegal immigration, I want you to wire it shut. When the sun rose the next day, wired completely shut. Say it again. Do the welding shut. There you go. So but get this. So it went from 5,000 a day. Now there are only 3 people a day coming across the border. And they are arrested by the Texas Department of Public Safety for trespassing into the state of Texas. So know this, unless and until Joe Biden does step up and do his job to secure the border, Texas is going to continue to bust those illegal immigrants to sanctuary cities across the country, like New York and Chicago. But I'll be honest with you, all this stuff is about to come to the end. It's going to come to the end in about 6 months. You know what I'm talking about. In about 6 months, Joe Biden is about to get fired as President of the United States of America. And we are going to rehire Donald Trump to once again be President of the United States. And stuff like that does not happen automatically. It takes voters to make it happen. So from the White House to the State House, I need you to be involved from day one all the way through election day to elect Donald Trump. But before that, this week, go vote for Helen Kerwin to be your next state representative. Now, one piece of business. You guys have been such a great crowd. I'm going to stick around and take a picture with everyone who wants a picture. With these qualifications. How many have already voted?
Yes.
And, oh no, leave your hand up. No, how many have voted? And then lower your hand if you did not vote for Helen Kerwin. All right, good. So you put your hands down. So how many people have not yet voted? There we go, okay. So let me ask the third question. Put your hands down. So how many people have not yet voted, but you were embarrassed to raise your hand? Oh, I got one. I got a volunteer out here. Listen, here's the deal. Listen, I know you're busy, may not have had a chance yet to go vote. What I know is this. They're open until 7 o'clock tonight. And you know where the closest location is? Exactly right. Right across the street. Here's my point. It is so close, I can personally roll there in less than 5 minutes. So I know that everybody here can make it over there to vote. So for everybody who's voted for Helen Kerwin already, and everyone who promises me that after we take a picture, you'll go vote for Helen Kerwin, we're going to have you come up one at a time and get your picture taken. I will stay here until everybody who wants a picture gets a picture. Yeah. Before that, turn it back to Helen, and I look forward to seeing you up here.
So proud of you. Okay, so pictures are going to start over here. We're going to do the rose first. So you all coming up. And then the line will just go over there.
I'm only guessing. I'm telling you, I'm going to